Hello, welcome wherever you are. So, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Today, we're going to continue in our series of IELTS speaking improvement lessons, and we're going to look at another speaking part 2. Today's question is, describe something a child did that made you laugh. Okay, so some children playing, of course. Children do funny things, amazing things, things that we don't expect. So this is just another example. So you should say when it was, so when it happened, where it was, where it happened, who the child was or is, because maybe they're not a child anymore, what the child did at the time, and why it made you laugh. So I put some suggestions as usual and color coded. As for those of you who are not familiar, you will see the color coding later on. The color coding in the talk will indicate when these things are being mentioned. So when, several years ago, last year, recently, on his or her birthday, can be anything. Where, at my house, at their house, at school, in the park, again, it could be anywhere. Who? My nephew, my niece, my friend's child, the child I saw on TV, or just a child I saw. What were they doing? Singing, dancing, trying to do something. Maybe it was difficult. Trying to say something or tell you something. Telling a story, playing. Again, it could be so many things. Why was it funny? Because they couldn't do it. Or they just looked cute when they were doing it. Or maybe they were trying to sing and they sounded terrible. There's so many things. Again, these are just a few small ideas to help you. Okay, some vocabulary. This is related to my talk, so some of the vocabulary, it's not a general vocabulary about children's actions. A lot of it is related to my talk. So we have nephew, your brother's son or sister's son. To pick up something, phrasal verb. Contestants, business tasks, CEO, which is an acronym. 3 letters usually means 3 words that go together. An idiom, have no idea. To get a job, phrasal verb. To come up with or came up with, past tense. Where someone got it from. Explain clearly. All became clear. Lose your job, screaming. Take off, hysterically, and intimidating. So stop the video, you know what to do. Stop the video, look at the words, follow them when you're reading through the talk or when I'm going to demonstrate the talk. Understand how they fit into the talk. Okay, let's continue. So follow along, try to learn and memorize. I say memorize, but I don't like that word, but many people do try to memorize chunks of things, so I include it. There are lots of kids in my family, as I have brothers and sisters and cousins. Most of them have kids who I see often. My favorite kid is my older brother's son, my nephew. He's 8 years old and he picks things up very quickly, especially things he hears on the TV. One such time was a few years ago when there was a popular TV program with the now US President, Donald Trump. The show was called The Apprentice, and it's about a CEO, being Donald Trump, who gets contestants onto the show to do a series of business tasks. So it's a kind of theoretical company. So until there's a winner, so basically these people have to do business tasks for him, and then eventually there will be a winner. And the winner gets a job with one of his companies. So it's quite a good program in the sense that, you know, if you do win, you could have a whole new career or good career. So it was a very popular show. I'm not actually quite sure if it runs now. That's just my note. So one day I was at my brother's house and my nephew David came up to me and shouted, "You fire!" I had no idea what he was talking about, but he kept repeating it and laughing. My brother and his wife did not know either, so they asked him where he got it from. He couldn't explain, but he just kept saying on the TV. He was only 5 at the time, as I said a couple of years ago, so he couldn't really explain it clearly. A few weeks later, all became clear. In the program, The Apprentice, when one of the contestants failed a task, Donald Trump would shout at them, "You're fired." That means they lost their job and had to leave the show. My nephew was trying to pronounce this. He couldn't pronounce it correctly, but he kept screaming it. When we heard him, when we heard him, we all began to laugh hysterically because it all made sense. What made it so funny was that his simple mispronunciation could have caused so much confusion. And when my nephew did it, he really tried to copy or take off Mr. Trump. He copied his intimidating manner because he is the CEO, he's the boss, so he's quite scary. So my nephew actually copied Mr. Trump when he used to let them go. Okay, so if you would like to see just a quick clip of this example, you will see Donald Trump saying "you're fired" on this YouTube link. So you can click it to understand more about what I mean. Okay, again, practice, stop the video, match your story. If you have a similar story about a child, use some of the vocabulary, use the structure, because things happen over a period of time and things happen in a sequence. So if you're not going to use a similar story to this, use a sequence, because if a child did something, they did it before in the past. So you've got to go back to the past to describe the events when it happened. So it's a kind of a timeline. That is something also that you should practice. Remember, it doesn't have to be a real story. Mine is a real story because it's someone in my family and it's something I remember well. That is why I used it. Okay, so that's the end of our talk. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell when you subscribed, and you will be notified every time we release a new video. You can also visit our website, and we also do online courses. This is a recent thing, so take a look at the courses.dumagetti.com, and you can see some IELTS online courses where you can just do complete self-study. Okay, that's it. Also, we have some books that are PDFs of videos like this, for example. This video is now in a PDF format, along with 25 others in a booklet that you can download from our website. So take a look at it, and please support us so we can begin to do live streaming. As soon as we're able, we're going to begin live streaming. Thank you, and see you in the next video.